We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second of the week, Scholars of Wrestling show. I am Scholar Tarek, your undisputed scholar. Joining me this evening is the soon-to-be reigning, defending. That part is the part that's coming up. Defending undisputed Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world, my tag team partner in crime, Scholar Brian. Hello, Scholar Brian. How are you tonight?
Feeling pretty good about myself, knowing who my number one contender is, knowing that technically, even though I didn't even try, I still came out on top.
Well, you had to share the top of that mountain.
I shared the top of the mountain, but I was on top of the mountain. That's it. But
Charlie had to make sure he had to have the exact same predictions as you again.
Of course. And you know, while you may be the undisputed scholar, I'm becoming the Ric Flair of Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight championship title reigns, because what am I on, 7?
You're on 7 or 8? You're on 7 right now.
Yeah, I'm on 7. It's just like I'm building that stat up.
You're trying to match Ric Flair's record of 16 Scholars of Wrestling championship wins.
Yeah, so say what you want about Crown Jewel, and there can be a lot of things you could say about it, but I feel pretty good going into Full Gear, at least predictions wise.
And they're actually, like, what can be said about Crown Jewel is surprising. Yeah, in a way that I can actually say, of all the Saudi Arabia shows, this was actually one of the good ones. And there are not a lot of good ones.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Not that this is by any stretch of the imagination, like, this was the best one.
But that's not saying much.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you're not setting a high bar by saying that this is the best one I've ever seen. But I can honestly say that there's always something that makes me, like, psychotically pissed off at these Saudi Arabia shows. There's always something, and this time I can't. I'm not pissed off. There was nothing on this show that made me psychotically angry like the last few Saudi Arabia shows have done. That's it.
There wasn't anything that was just wild or just absolutely bonkers, or, as you put it, something that would just piss everyone off. But in a way that kind of also worked against it, because I do agree with you. This may be the best, if this may be the best Saudi Arabia show, but I will say it's not the most memorable one. This was just so much a glorified house show that it didn't work, that, like, it didn't leave anyone really like, oh my God, this just, people are going to be talking about it for such a long time, other than like, oh, it actually was pretty good. It was a good show.
The only match that I can say that, like, actually deserved, like, a real pay-per-view spot was the Hell in a Cell match.
I agree, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's go by each match in order that the card went through, starting with the Usos defending the or was it a tag
Were
title
they
match? Or
even
was it?
defending? I don't think they were
I don't think it was a
defending. I think
defending. It was just a regular tag team match against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Business. And the only thing that I really got out of it, actually, there's two things. One, that in Saudi Arabia, the Usos are super over. And it seems like this whole Hurt Business reunion thing is just an utter waste of time. I didn't have my hopes up when they quote reunited, and judging by how this match went and what happened later in the show, yeah, there's really nothing that's gonna make this reunion anything special.
Yeah, legitimately, like from the beginning, it was just like they're doing it to do it. That's basically all this is. They're not setting it up like they did when it first appeared. They're not actually pushing them or anything. And this was fine. It did what it was supposed to do. The crowd wanted to see the Usos, obviously.
It was a very
So
sloppy match.
so WWE gave them it was very sloppy, but like
There wasn't
entertainment wise, it's fine.
like
Whatever.
meaning what I mean by sloppy is like it wasn't like there were botches or anything. It just looked like they were basically like, oh, excuse me. It looked like they just got off the plane and they're thrown right into the ring. So they're kind of feeling, what's the word, jet lagged. So they're just this was a going through the motions type of match. And there were just a few times when, actually this happened a lot throughout the show. There was a lot of obviously missed super kicks. That was what I mean by sloppy. It's just like nothing major, like no messing up moves, no botching anyone at risk. It's just, you just tell they were just going through the motions and nothing really made, like the kicks in particular didn't really make contact most of the time.
So I wouldn't legitimately say sloppy. I would say they were treating this like a house show. And they delivered exactly what you would expect from a house show match. And they delivered in that aspect, because it's like house show matches are practice matches for the TV and the pay-per-view. And they've always treated the Saudi Arabia shows like a glorified house show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't really, unless the botch is so egregious that you have to call it out, Goldberg, then it's just like, oh, they're practicing for the real match that they're gonna have a month from now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in that case, it's just like these guys were feeling out each other for the real match that they're gonna have down the line. And
I don't think they're gonna have anything down the line. I think they're both. I think the Hurt Business was drafted to Raw, and the Usos are still on SmackDown.
Well, all right then. It was just it was a house show match to get the crowd involved. They did the job. They got it done, and it was fine. For what? All right,
let's move on to the main card, which I don't know why. I honestly don't know why this opened the show, because it really set the bar high. It set the bar high for the rest of the card.
You could only go downhill from here.
Yeah, this was just my match of the night. This was my everything of the night, because nothing lived up to the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Seth Rollins. And just what really made this match great for me is that this was a Hell in a Cell match that earned the right to be a Hell in a Cell match. And they actually went all out. I don't think there's ever been a Hell in a Cell match where somebody got pushed off the turnbuckle, crashing into the fence, and then going through a table, that what Edge did to Seth Rollins. Spots like
Yeah.
that is just absolutely incredible. And like they're doing some new original things in it. I'm not
Yeah,
particularly thrilled that the cell is still red, but that's just more nitpicky than anything. But this continues to add my belief that the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view should be dropped altogether, and Hell in a Cell matches should be special, like specialty matches as feud enders, other than just, oh, it's just the gimmick of the pay-per-view.
yeah. This is proof that there doesn't need to be a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, because as you said, okay, this entire feud, from the moment it started, it's been leading up to this. It was always gonna end in Hell in a Cell. Do I agree with it being a crown jewel? Not really, but that's not.
None of this,
that's not
none of
really
this
the
deserved
issue.
to be in Crown Jewel.
But the deal is, okay, the fact that you've already had how many Hell in a Cell matches were on Hell in a Cell this year?
I think
Was it two or
two.
three?
I think it was two, and then Raw and SmackDown had one because
So you've had 4 this year. So it's like going into it, it's like, okay, it's Edge, it's Seth Rollins. It's gonna be good, but I'm so burned out on Hell in a Cell matches this year. What could they possibly do? And then they pull this out of the bag. And legitimately, like, not even lying, at least in WWE terms, like, this might be their best match of the year.
actually I agree with that. Yeah, I really do agree with that statement.
Yeah, if we did the awards and if we did the Scullies right now, and the match of the year was solely based on WWE, this would be my pick. Because holy cow, like, damn, like there was some creative stuff, like what you just said, and there was some stuff that I've never seen in a Hell in a Cell before that you couldn't get earlier this year when they were going through the motions with the Hell in a Cell match, and what they did with this was glorious, and I loved every second of it.
I loved every second of it as well. And yeah, they did, like, to continue on with adding new things to this. I don't think anyone has ever tied a chain to their foot to do a pretty nasty super kick to a already out of it Edge. And and I'm just thinking, oh my God, he's gonna curb stomp him with a chain. That is just cruel. But I'm like, no, they're not actually gonna do that. And then just Edge taking it off. He just used it to just basically strangle him, right? And then he did a curb stomp off, actually a very poorly done curb stomp onto Seth Rollins onto a chair. Another sloppily executed way to end the match. But that's only the real downfall, like really negative thing I can say about this match. But it didn't hurt it at all, because everything about this match was just beautifully told in the ring. Story, wrestling. I had fun watching this, and of all the Hell in a Cell matches this year, this one was definitely the best. And I may agree that this is WWE's match of the year so far. All right, moving on. We're just gonna skim through these because pretty much I have nothing really much to say, because as I said earlier, nothing really lived up to this one. But in all, the wrestling was good. Mansoor defeating Mustafa Ali, and actually these guys work very well together. I kind of want to see this feud keep going. between these two. I do don't I do not like the fact that they broke them up as a tag team because of actual potential that those two had at their storytelling, but they work very well together. And I actually it was a very another traditional heel versus face. I don't remember who it was that came out at the end to help Mansoor.
It was a karate silver medalist. The only reason he was a silver medalist and not a gold medalist was because he knocked the guy out, and apparently that's a no-no.
Well, that sucks. But yeah, good traditional match. The only time when you're expecting a hometown boy to win a match is in Saudi Arabia. Next up, we got Randy Orton and Riddle, who came down on a camel.
Gosh, that was the best. That's the best.
That was just a Riddle riding down a camel, successfully defending the tag titles against AJ Styles and Omos. I could see Matt Riddle and AJ Styles wrestle forever. Those guys work brilliant together. And same thing with AJ Styles and Randy Orton. The only weak link really is how limited Omos is. But
and the jumping the RKO where AJ Styles does the phenomenal elbow, that'll never get old.
It'll not never at all.
That's it.
Now I'm just kind of done.
Every time he does it and Randy Orton's back is turned, I'm just like, here it comes, and then he hits it, and I'm like, I'm still okay with it. I love it.
I kind of am done with these four guys feuding now. I think I've lost track of how many times these guys wrestled in the last few months. But I think it's time for both parties to move on.
Yeah, I do believe that there needs to be new challengers.
Although in the long run, you got to ask, who is there for RK Bro to face, really? I know that SmackDown got a great number of tag teams, but I don't know. I actually don't know how many there are on Raw. I got to look that up later. Next, we got the Queen's Crown Tournament Finals. And with what I said earlier this week, I really should have been the one that just picked Zelina Vega, because it was exactly how I pictured it. There is no way that someone like Vince McMahon would give the inaugural Queen's Crown tournament to someone of Doudrop's physique. And that's not coming from me. That's just how I feel Vince McMahon views it. And I must say, I think this was the longest match of this tournament.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And it's one of those things where it's like, I am very happy for Zelina Vega after everything she's been put through this year, that she was able to get this accolade and whatever. But it's also like, this tournament was the biggest crap that I've seen in years. So it's like, is it really that big of an accomplishment?
The only question I have at the end of this,
20 minutes.
The only question I have at the outcome is Zelina Vega a babyface now? Because the booking of this match was definitely Doudrop was working as the heel, as like the monster heel, like, oh, you can't beat me with against someone so small like Zelina Vega. It was definitely Zelina was a small baby face, like David. This was a David versus Goliath match. And it's just
that DDT that Zelina Vega hit. That was smooth. That was great.
It was a very smooth. I agree. And
yeah. So if we saw more of that out of Zelina Vega, then nobody would be questioning this. But because of the booking, since she came back, it's like she won no matches, none, before the tournament started. So it's like, what? What happened? How is this possible?
And the booking itself of the whole tournament was just a complete and utter mess. And then just from her standpoint, I I know that the match with Carmella was just a quick roll up, but I don't remember. I know she faced Natalia first, and I think it was just basically another quick, like, I want to say accidental, or is this like that's like she really didn't earn it. This was the first. This was the match where she actually earned that win, and like I said, she definitely got the baby face feel, and I kind of want her to have this be her baby face turn and have her basically just, who am I kidding? She's not gonna get anything from this. She just got it. She just got the title of Queen's Crown winner. She's not gonna be anywhere near this. And it's like what we said earlier. In our opinion, Shayna Baszler should have been the one to actually win this tournament because it would have actually benefited her in the long run. This was nothing. And
Shayna Baszler or Liv Morgan should have won this, but they took Liv.
Hell, that should have been the finals.
Shayna Baszler out second. So
yeah. Honestly, that match should have been the finals, in my personal opinion. Next, we got, let's see, the Goldberg, Bobby Lashley, no holds barred, falls count anywhere. For a match that's built on Goldberg saying he's going to kill Bobby Lashley, this is very tame. I kind of feel like I think that was kind of made it kind of a letdown.
I enjoyed a lot the spear off the stage, dropping 10 feet through a table. I'm like, holy shit, Bill Goldberg actually went and did a bump like that. So it's like, so I was like, that was cool. But then I laughed as Bill Goldberg was celebrating, and Bobby Lashley just got up and walked away.
I know it really took away. It really took away the whole "I'm gonna kill you for touching my son" aspect of this.
But I will say this: I do believe that in the current Goldberg run, I can't believe I have to say that, but in the current Goldberg run of the last few years, I do believe that was the best match he's had
since Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I agree.
Because it was a nice little brawl. There were no egregious. I don't believe there were any egregious botches.
There wasn't. That's the one thing we really got to give this. There was no botches. His jackhammer actually was beautiful.
Yeah.
But actually,
if you bust yourself open and it's actually during the match, then your jackhammers will work. Okay.
The one thing it honestly just came to my mind. I think I may have liked the Drew McIntyre Goldberg match a little more. I think that match was actually better compared to this. Because I think it was just another thing where nothing bad happened. There wasn't any like serious botches to my knowledge that I remember, and that one felt more like a passing of the torch, kind of the ultimate badass for Drew McIntyre. I think the only thing that really worked against it was I think it was for the title.
It was for the title,
but it was a much better told story, and I think the best way I can compare it is like, similar to what the Stone Cold Rikishi match happened after Stone Cold found out it was Rikishi that ran him over. I believe that with Stone Cold actually trying to legit kill Rikishi more than Goldberg trying to kill. At least that's how the match was being booked, as killing Bobby Lashley, and just continuing the downfall of the Hurt Business. You had Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin come out and just be taken out by a boot and a back body drop, and then they're not seen for the rest of the match. Continuing the unfortunate downfall of one of the best things that happened during the pandemic era of WWE. Goddamn tragedy. Although, yeah, Bobby Lashley walked away after the match.
So
Hilarious. So I think that also took another factor of I think I like the Drew Goldberg match just a tiny bit more. Next up is the King of the Ring finals. Xavier Woods beating Finn Balor to be the King of the Ring. Okay.
And this was, I'll say this. This was the feel-good moment.
This was the feel-good moment, but I'm not gonna lie. I felt like this match was very. It didn't feel like it all was on the line.
It was paint by numbers.
I felt like Finn wasn't in the match.
Yeah, it was always booked for Xavier Woods to go over. So Xavier Woods got all the good spots and all that. And it's just it was just, and I'm not mad about it. I wanted Xavier Woods to win. We all wanted Xavier Woods to win. Okay, but the problem with doing the King of the Ring finals on a glorified house show in Saudi Arabia is you're not going to have the best match that you could have in order to get that crown. Mm-hmm. So when I say that it was a feel-good moment, that's all it was.
I guess I was just.
The match was fine. It was fine. But when you have Xavier Woods and Finn Balor, you expect more than fine.
Yeah, you not only expect more, you want more, because you know that these guys are capable of putting on. I guess the best way to put it, they're capable of putting on a WrestleMania X caliber match. But
exactly. So while we didn't get that, we did technically get what we wanted. We wanted Xavier Woods as the King of the Ring. We got that.
It just felt like the Zelina Vega thing. I personally feel that other than just saying, "Oh, he's King of the Ring," I don't think this isn't going to push Xavier Woods. This is not going to elevate anything like what King of the Ring used to be.
I will give this one more rope because
they cared about it more.
From what I've heard, okay, Xavier Woods has had plans for his King of the Ring run, and WWE has been all in on those plans for when he's actually king. So I'm giving it a little rope because I want to see how they're gonna play it, and just based on what was shown on the when he was celebrating, and he was like, "You keep that camera on me," that kind of deal. I'm interested. I'm more interested in seeing where Xavier's King run goes than Zelina's Queen run.
Sure. I'll have that optimism as well, but I'm just hoping for the best, but expecting nothing.
Yeah, I don't expect title runs or anything like that.
If anything, I kind of want to see him go for the Intercontinental title, like what I told Jeff.
Xavier Woods himself has said that he doesn't care about singles titles. He's a tag team wrestler who wanted to be King of the Ring. So like he's there now. He's done all he's wanted to do. So I'm not really invested in a Intercontinental title or a world title run, but I'm interested to see how he plays the character going forward. That's what I'm.
I guess just after seeing like someone post about how pretty much the New Day is going to be one of the best factions in history, in wrestling history, from two of the three guys winning the world title, longest reigning tag team championship, a Money in the Bank win, uh, now King of the Ring. They're just really stacking up. They're really stacking up the stats on that. And it's like two world titles and a tag team. Go ahead, throw the Intercontinental title in just to add to the more accomplishments that they got as the New Day, not like the Intercontinental Championship that Big E and
Has Kofi ever won the Intercontinental title when he was with the New Day? When he was
with the New Day? No.
Oh,
with
okay.
the New Day? No.
I know he won it a few times when he and Dolph Ziggler were trading it back and forth in the SmackDown days. But
didn't Big E win the Intercontinental Championship?
Big E's won the Intercontinental Championship, but I'm not certain if that was New Day or when.
I know he beat Apollo Crews for it.
Okay, then yeah, then he's
okay. So yeah, okay. Intercontinental Championship added to the new stats of the New Day. You know what? Good on. There you go. Continue those ranks. They don't need to win the United States Championship. They already got the actual workhorse title. I'm all for that. So yeah, congrats to the New Day all around. Continuing that with Big E defeating Drew McIntyre and pretty much it was a very good WWE Championship match, and both guys really let it out on the line. And
it was a very good championship match where you knew the outcome, and you could just sit back and enjoy what they did to get there.
I honestly will say this will probably just be like a spoiler for how I felt about the Universal title match, but between the two world titles, this was the better one. This was the better match.
I will say, at least as a full entertainment piece, yes. This was because
between the two,
the ending fit.
Yeah, between the two, this one was a match. The other one was a segment.
Yeah, it was the more satisfying.
Mm-hmm. And we'll just say, okay, Becky Lynch won the triple threat. Whoop-de-doo. I honestly got nothing.
But it's also like the match was great. We expected it to be. We also expected it to win. So we got everything we wanted out of that match. It was good.
It was good. I guess it was just another one of those things where I think that's kind of the story of this match, of this whole event. When it came to the matches, they were just, at least for the big matches, it was very good matches, very good wrestling. I was just very underwhelmed because I was just
very underwhelmed because it's like there's no suspense.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was just
like, you knew going in who was gonna win, and you enjoyed you try to enjoy the journey to get there, but sometimes it's just like we know who's gonna win this match. Get to it. That's it.
Like the really thing could be said about Edge and Seth Rollins. I mean, we all knew that Edge was gonna win, but their journey from bell to bell was just absolutely phenomenal. And it was something that really that left a mark on this whole show. I mean, like the triple threat didn't do anything. The WWE title match may have been number 2 on my match card.
They drew you in enough to, even though you knew who was going to win, you were still spellbound. You were still like on the edge of your seat just to see what was going to happen next. You didn't really have that with it. You did have the cool spot where where Bianca Belair was lifting Sasha Banks with the one hand. And you did have the cool spot with Becky Lynch and the hair of Bianca Belair. That was fun. but it's just like they didn't do enough to have me on the edge of my seat, and it's like, what's gonna happen next?
And then
no, some point I was like, okay, I've had enough. Becky can win now. That's it.
and then we got to the main event, and actually, I think the only real criticism I had on this one was just that was it. I was expecting a whole lot more than just
when the two were actually fighting, when it was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and they were actually fighting, like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And then when the referee got knocked down and the shenanigans started, then it was like, oh, okay.
The second Brock Lesnar F5 Roman Reigns onto Charles Robinson, I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. This is stupid. I'm done with this match. I've gotten kind of tired of Brock Lesnar matches, and this was exactly that. It was definitely a Brock Lesnar match, just with now more 8-10 Super Mario superstars that he can actually keep fighting back to before those suplexes hit. But the second Charles Robinson got quote laid out, I'm just like, wow, this is so goddamn stupid. And then of course Paul Heyman threw in. That was honestly the most entertaining thing. He just throws it right in the middle, not to anyone in particular. It's just like, oh, like, let's see who gets the title first. And then the match ends with just the Usos coming in, super kick. Roman hits him with the title belt. 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's it?
Yeah.
This was a man who took 5 spears and 2 jackhammers to get taken out. And super kicks and a belt ended the match. What is this?
Well,
this is stupid.
He's a baby face now.
And then, of course, my immediate reaction is it takes a long time for this new ref to come running down. He most likely saw Roman Reigns hit him with the belt. That's an automatic disqualification, motherfucker. What is this stupid nonsense? Oh my God. I'm like, this was the most like lackluster, underachieving moment to really end the show. I'm like, God, this is dumb. And this is not even just the fact that it cost me the #1 contendership. I don't care about that. I really don't. I'm just looking, I'm like, that's really how you're gonna fucking end. I'm now throwing multiple F-bombs because this ending actually did legit piss me off. I'm like, this is stupid. This isn't like Goldberg almost killing Undertaker or Undertaker Kane versus DX. Old men wrestling each other. It's stupid, but this is just the most idiotic booking I have ever seen. This is dumb. This is absolutely dumb. I am not for this. Stop it. This is just one of those booked into a corner things that WWE's done to just like, oh, we can't have either guy lose, so let's just do the dumbest thing possible to make Brock Lesnar eat the pin. And my response to it was just Miz face.
Really? And then we'll make him look really strong on SmackDown when he beats up all the ringside people, and then we'll suspend him so we can
find a way to keep this feud going.
So we can make this feud go until WrestleMania, like we said
it
was going.
Oh my God! Get the fuck out of here, Vince. Get the fuck out of here. Go home. You're old. You're not drunk. You're old. This is just another one of those things. It's just another one of those things where, like, this is the dumbest booking. I am officially done with Roman Reigns as champion. It's now at this point, like, they're just continuing to add on to the fact that literally no one can touch him. I think he is now 10 times worse than Triple H in his prime. He is booked. I think he's booked stronger than Triple H in his prime. He's booked stronger than John Cena in his prime. It's now reached that point where there is no fun. He's a fun character to watch for the soap opera drama, But when it comes to the wrestling ring, he is the least entertaining thing that WWE puts on.
Because you know every time what's gonna happen.
Because it's not about giving on a good match that makes everyone look good. This is just, let's do our best to make Roman look strong in the end. And when it's and this is the thing, when he was a babyface, the Shield babyface, and now when he's the tribal chief heel, it's now back to the status quo of it's now go away heat again. I liked giving him heel heat when he first came back and when we first saw he was aligned with Paul Heyman. That was good heel heat. Now it's back to go away heat. I hate that because he's doing a phenomenal job with the character. I still will give him that. This is a great character for him as kind of like the tribal chief mafia boss. I like that. It's a good character. But now the wrestling, no one is booked to look strong against him. And now literally of everyone in WWE, there is no one that actually can dethrone him. They haven't booked anyone strong enough, and now it's just boring television. Because and it's like, it's something we discussed. It's something that you and Jeremy discussed about with Kenny Omega and his title reign. Like we're all still convinced that it's inevitable that when Adam Page with Hangman Adam Page. I don't know why I don't know why I just zoned out for a second. I'm sorry. I just was like, Hangman. I'm like, where am I? Hangman Adam Page. Like we all know that's inevitable. But Kenny Omega is still booked like a mortal. Roman Reigns is booked like a god. And that's why that's the similar thing of why people get tired of someone like Superman, because with all the power, you can't really relate to that. So there's no point in getting invested in him because we can't relate to him, and we can't get invested in anyone because they're men to a god. So why do you want it to? And the only way I could ever see Roman Reigns losing that belt is if there's outside shenanigans. No one's going to beat him legit clean. There's going to be some outside shenanigans, either with him being distracted or some maybe heel tactic that will inevitably turn him into a baby face again, which is something Vince McMahon wants to do. Book him so strong that when he's a baby face, he'll be a big baby face. But no one's strong, heel or face, or no one looked strong enough for him. So again, this little rant that I had kind of went longer than I thought, but it's really back to that go away heat that I wish I didn't have, but I do. It's hard to get invested in anyone in the title picture because in the end, it doesn't matter because they all fall to the tribal chief. Am I thinking too hard on this, or is it like, am I over exaggerating?
I am not so far in the boat of go away heat because as you said, this is the best that Roman Reigns has ever been, character-wise. The issue is, okay, I know what's going to happen in all of his matches. The matches are good most of the time. Okay, when they actually get to put on a show, they're actually good all of the time. The problem with this one is it was never meant to be an actual match.
It kind of like
that was the problem, and this is where the issue is, at least for me, because I was expecting a match. What I got was a main event segment, and why would I want that on a house show?
I guess it all for me. It like the plants were the seeds were planted the second Kevin Owens lost that last man standing match, which they had to pause the match to fix Roman Reigns' chain, like getting up from the chain. Where I guess it's like, oh yeah, instead of working their way around what they got with what they have, they just had to basically put the event on pause just so Roman can get out. And it just made the company, it made Kevin Owens, it made Roman Reigns look like it made them all look like fools. And it took me completely out of the character and the story at just how he was when it comes to the wrestling. Again, I have to, am I over exaggerating on this one?
No, everyone has the right to their own opinion. I'm just saying I'm not fully in your boat yet.
And like I said before, his character, he has down to a T. In my personal opinion, I think he should never be a baby face and never be a face again. He's a perfect heel. He is a great heel character, and he plays that perfectly. And just from all the shoot pay-per-view, the shoot quotes that he says outside, it fits the character. So I would just never believe, I guess no pun intended, believe that he would be a genuine face. That's just me. I may be over the line, but that's just how I feel about it. So overall, what would you give facial hair rating for this pay-per-view or special event?
Compared to the others, okay, this was good. This was fun. I didn't have as big an issue with things as you did. So I feel good about saying this. Classic OT for this one. The Hell in a Cell match was fantastic. You had a match of the year candidate there, and as I said, there was nothing that really pissed me off about everything that I watched was watchable. Okay, everything was acceptable. I wish that I got more of a match out of Lesnar versus Reigns instead of it turning into a cartoon segment at the end.
That's all you can really say about WWE nowadays. It is a cartoon. I think I actually said it online somewhere. I watched an episode of NXT 2.0 and I just watched it. I'm like, this is fucking Nickelodeon wrestling. I feel like they could switch the channel and put this on Nickelodeon and it won't change anything. That's how I felt about it. But I will agree with, I actually kind of will go a little further on this. When it comes to like the wrestling, this was a very, very, very good show. And agree that this is the best Saudi Arabia Saudi Arabia show, and possibly best WWE show, special Peacock event this year. Not for me, nothing really lived up to the same level that the Hell in a Cell match gave me. Like I was in that match, hook, line, and sinker. I was invested in everything. I was on the edge of my seat on that one, and everything else I was just kind of watching and just been like, it was good. I enjoyed that, but nothing got me on the edge of my seat. Not even like Xavier winning. I'm happy for him, but nothing real. Like it was a feel good, but it was just like, because I guess just because we were expecting it, it just kind of just took it away. And just like I said during our review of it, it just didn't feel like at least Finn was in the match. And the matches just kind of left me wanting more. It left me underwhelmed. So I'm going to give it a low full beard, 4 out of 5. Because in the, like I said, in the end, it was a good show. The wrestling was great. Oh, sorry about that. It says my, I guess I forgot to plug in my laptop. It says the battery's running low, but we're at the end of the show anyway. So that's how we feel about Crown Jewel. Now it's the time to turn it over to you, our watching audience. What did you think of Crown Jewel? Am I going a little over the line of how I feel about Roman Reigns? Which match was your favorite? Which match was your least favorite? Was there anything that left you going, what the hell was that? We want to know. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. Be sure to follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at ScholarsOW. You can find me at the Avatar. Scholar Brian, where can they reach you?
You can find me at Atomic Pinball.
And you can follow Scholar Jeff at I'm Robbie Rage and follow Scholar Charlie at Charlene. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. Man, I'm tired. Oh, I think it's time to call this one a show because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. All right. See you later, everybody.